On my 30th birthday, I found out on Instagram that my family gifted my sister a Paris trip. Mom wrote, "She's the only one we're proud of." I smiled, opened my bank app, and pressed withdraw. Can you imagine your own family, the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, publicly declare that your sibling is the only one who makes them proud? And they do it on your 30th birthday, while you're sitting alone with a single cupcake. That's exactly what happened to me, Ashley, and let me tell you, it was just the beginning of a twisted story that taught me everything about family, money, and finally, standing up for myself. It was my 30th birthday, and I was sitting at my small kitchen table in Richmond, Virginia. A lone cupcake, sadder than usual, sat in front of me. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep, doing all right, but nothing fancy. I kept to myself. That morning, I'd woken up hoping for a call, a text, anything from my parents. Instead, I got silence. Then I saw that Instagram post. My sister, Brooke, 26, grinning at the airport, luggage in tow, ready for a surprise trip to Paris, a gift from our parents. Heart emojis, exclamation points, and a flood of congratulatory comments. Right at the top, pinned for everyone to see, was my mom's comment, "She's the only one who makes us proud." I refreshed the page as if I'd misread it. But no, it was there. And you know what? I wasn't surprised. Not really. This was just how it had always been. Brooke was the golden child. The one who could do no wrong, who got all the attention, all the praise. And me? I was the backup plan. The one they tolerated but never celebrated. Growing up, Brooke got the best room, new clothes, private tutors. I got hand-me-downs and a pat on the head for straight A's. When Brooke wanted dance lessons, they paid without blinking. When I wanted photography classes in high school, my dad told me we couldn't afford it, saying I needed to be practical. So, I worked at a grocery store, saved up, and bought a used camera. My parents never came to my small art show, but they were front row at every single one of Brooke's dance recitals, flowers in hand. That afternoon, I called my mom, just to see if maybe, just maybe, she'd forgotten. The phone rang and rang. "Oh, Ashley." "Hi," she said, her voice completely distracted. "I'm at the airport with your sister. Can I call you back?" "It's my birthday, Mom." There was a pause. I could hear the terminal bustle, announcements echoing. "Oh, right. Happy birthday, honey. Listen, we're about to board. I'll call you later." "Okay." She hung up before I could even respond. I set the phone down and looked at that pathetic cupcake again. Then I opened my laptop and logged into the joint bank account I shared with my parents. The account I'd been contributing to for 6 years. It started when my dad had a health scare. Medical bills piled up, and they were drowning. I just landed my first big sales job, and I wanted to help. So, $500 a month automatically transferred from my paycheck. It wasn't much to me, but it added up. I thought it was the least I could do. They were my parents, after all. Except, they never mentioned it. Not once. Never thanked me. When I casually brought it up at Thanksgiving 2 years ago, my mom waved it off. "Oh, that's sweet of you, Ashley. But we're fine. Really fine." They were fine, all right. And yet, here they were, dropping thousands on a spontaneous Paris trip for Brooke. I did the math, 6 years, $500 a month? That was $36,000. $36,000 I'd given them, thinking I was helping, thinking it might mean something. My stomach twisted as I clicked through the account history. Groceries, utilities, car payments, and then I saw it, a $4,000 charge labeled travel agency. Another for $1,500 labeled boutique shopping. And just last month, a $10,000 deposit into Brooke's personal account with the memo, gift. They'd been using my money, not for bills, not for emergencies. For Brooke. I sat back, my hands shaking. I felt like such an idiot. All those years, all that money. And they'd just been funneling it to my sister while I scraped by. Skipping vacations, new clothes, just to make sure they were okay. I remembered all the times I'd said no to weekend trips with coworkers. The time I'd eaten ramen for 2 weeks because my car needed repairs. All those sacrifices, while my parents were treating Brooke like royalty with my money. I looked at the cupcake. then at the screen. And I made a decision. I clicked withdraw. It took me 3 days to move all the money, $36,000, transferred back into my personal account in small enough increments not to trigger any alerts. I told myself I wasn't stealing. It was my money. I'd earned it. I'd given it freely, yes, but they'd lied to me. They'd taken advantage of me. So I was taking it back. The guilt hit me in waves at first. Lying awake at night, wondering if I was petty, if I was overreacting. But then I'd remember my mom's comment on that Instagram post. She's the only one who makes us proud, and the guilt would evaporate, replaced by something harder, something colder. I didn't tell anyone. Not my friends, not my coworkers. I just kept going to work, living my life, pretending everything was normal. But inside, I felt different. Lighter, maybe. Or maybe just angrier. Brooke called me from Paris on the 3rd day of her trip. I let it go to voicemail. She called again the next day. The day after that. Finally, I answered. Ashley, oh my God, you have to see this city. It's incredible. Mom and Dad are being so generous. We went to the Louvre yesterday, and tonight we're having dinner at this amazing restaurant near the Eiffel Tower. Sounds nice, I said, flatly. Are you okay? You sound weird. I'm fine. Just busy. Well, I wanted to thank you. I know you've been helping Mom and Dad out, and I'm sure that's part of why they could do this for me. So, thank you. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I said, don't worry about it. You're the best big sister ever, she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. I hung up and threw my phone across the room. The thing about Brooke is she wasn't a bad person. Not mean or malicious. She was just oblivious. Spoiled, yes, but not intentionally cruel. She genuinely believed the world revolved around her, because that's how her parents had raised her. And I couldn't even blame her for that. It wasn't her fault they'd chosen her as the favorite. But it still hurt. I remembered when we were kids, maybe 10 and 14. I'd saved my allowance for 3 months to buy a vintage camera I'd been eyeing at a pawn shop. The day I finally had enough money, I came home so excited to show my parents. But Brooke had just gotten a bad grade on a math test, and my parents were sitting with her at the kitchen table, consoling her, promising her a new tablet if she brought her grades up. That's great, Ashley, my mom had said when I showed her the camera, barely glancing up. Now go do your homework. I took the camera to my room and cried. Not because I wanted praise, but because I wanted them to care, just a little bit. I spent the next week researching what to do with the money. I wasn't going to blow it on something stupid. I wanted to use it wisely, in a way that would actually mean something. I thought about investing it, maybe a down payment on a house. Then I stumbled across an ad for a medical billing course. A 6-month program that would certify me to work in healthcare administration, something I'd always been interested in. It cost $8,000 upfront. Before, that would have been impossible. Now, I had the means. I signed up that night. My parents didn't notice the missing money right away. Or if they did, they didn't say anything. But 2 weeks after I withdrew it, my dad called. Ashley, we need to talk. My heart sank. About what? The account. There's been some kind of error. A lot of money is missing. Over $30,000. I called the bank, and they said it was transferred out. Do you know anything about that? I paused, choosing my words carefully. I withdrew it. You what? It was my money, Dad. I put it in there. I took it back out. There was a long silence. Then, Ashley, that money was for emergencies. We were counting on it. Emergencies? I repeated, my voice tight. Like a trip to Paris? Another silence. That's different, he said finally. How? Brooke needed a break. She's been working so hard. And your mom and I wanted to do something special for her. And what about me? The words came out sharper than I intended. I've been putting money into that account for 6 years, Dad. 6 years. And not once did you or Mom say thank you. Not once did you ask if I needed help. You just took it and gave it to Brooke. That's not fair, he said, but his voice lacked conviction. No, Dad. What's not fair is that I've been busting my ass to support this family while you treat me like I don't exist. So yeah, I took my money back, and I'm not sorry. I hung up before he could respond. My hands were shaking again, but this time, It wasn't from guilt. It was from adrenaline. From finally standing up for myself. It felt good. Terrifying, but good. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on my couch. Part of me expected to feel worse, to be crushed by guilt. But instead, I felt relief. Like I'd finally cut a rope that had been strangling me for years. The fallout was immediate. My mom called that evening. Her voice shrill and accusatory. How could you do this to us, Ashley? We trusted you. You trusted me? I shot back. You've been lying to me for years. We didn't lie. We just didn't think you'd make such a big deal out of it. A big deal? Mom, that was $36,000. $36,000 I gave you because I thought you needed it, and you spent it on Brooke. Brooke is going through a lot right now. She needed our support. And I didn't? My mom didn't answer. Instead, she said, your father and I are very disappointed in you. I laughed bitterly. Of course you are, because I'm always the disappointment, aren't I? Brooke can do no wrong but me. I'm just the screw-up who doesn't deserve anything. Isn't that right? When's the last time you celebrated anything I did, Mom? When's the last time you even asked how I was doing? She was quiet for a long moment. Then, we'll talk about this when you've calmed down. And she hung up. I didn't cry. I wanted to, but the tears wouldn't come. Instead, I felt this hollow ache in my chest, like something had been ripped out of me. I'd always known my parents had a favorite, but hearing my mom defend it so casually, that was what broke me. I threw myself into the medical billing course. It was a way to distract myself, to channel all the anger and hurt into something productive. The coursework was intense, but I loved it. For the first time in years, I felt like I was doing something for myself, not to prove a point, not to earn approval. Just for me. The classes were twice a week, and on weekends, I studied at a coffee shop. I met other students, people also trying to better their lives. For once, I didn't feel so alone. Patricia, a single mom in her 40s, had been laid off and was retraining. We'd grab lunch, and she'd tell me how hard it was, but how worth it. You're doing the right thing, she told me. Investing in yourself, that's the smartest thing you can do. My coworker, Vanessa, noticed a change in me too. We'd been friendly, but she started inviting me out for coffee more often, asking how I was doing. I didn't tell her everything, but I told her enough. About the money, about my family, about how invisible I'd always felt. You did the right thing, she said one afternoon. They were taking advantage of you. I keep telling myself that, I said, but part of me still feels guilty. Why? Because you stood up for yourself? Because they're my parents and Brooke is my sister, I'm supposed to just forgive them, right? Vanessa shook her head. Forgiveness isn't the same as being a doormat, Ashley. You can love your family and still set boundaries. Her words stuck with me. I'd spent so long trying to earn my family's love that I'd forgotten I didn't have to. I could just walk away. But walking away was easier said than done. Brooke came back from Paris 3 weeks after my birthday and called me again. This time I answered. Ashley, what the hell is going on? Mom and Dad are furious with you. I'm sure they are. They said you took money out of their account. Is that true? It was my money, Brooke. But they needed it. No, they didn't. They used it to send you to Paris. She was quiet for a moment. Then I didn't know that. Of course you didn't. You never know anything, do you? You just get to coast through life while the rest of us pick up the pieces. That's not fair, she said, her voice small. Maybe not, but it's true. Ashley, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. It doesn't matter anymore, I interrupted. Just enjoy your life, Brooke. That's what you're good at. I hung up and blocked her number. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror for a long time. I didn't recognize the person staring back. She looked harder, angrier, but also stronger. I thought about my mom's Instagram comment. She's the only one who makes us proud. And I realized something. I didn't need them to be proud of me. I just needed to be proud of myself. And for the first time in my life, I was. I took a selfie, messy hair, sweatpants, and a real smile. I posted it with a simple caption, 30 and thriving. This wasn't for them. It was for me. A month passed before my parents reached out again. I'd blocked Brooke's number, but my mom found another way, email. Subject line, we need to talk about this situation. I almost deleted it. But curiosity got the better of me. Ashley, it read, your father and I have been discussing your recent behavior, and we think you owe us an explanation. Taking that money was extremely selfish, especially when you knew we had plans. Brooke has been very upset by all of this, and frankly, so have we. We raised you better than this. We expect you to return the money immediately and apologize to your sister for ruining her trip experience. She's been crying every day since she found out what you did. Family is supposed to support each other, and you've let us all down. Please call us so we can resolve this like adults. Mom. I read it 3 times, my blood pressure rising. They expected me to apologize? To return the money? And somehow, in their twisted logic, I had ruined Brooke's trip, a trip she'd already taken and enjoyed, a trip funded by my own hard-earned money. I typed out a response, my fingers flying. Mom, I don't know. You anything. Not an explanation, not an apology, and certainly not that money. I gave it to you in good faith, believing you needed it for medical bills and essential expenses. Instead, you used it to spoil Brooke while treating me like I didn't exist. I'm done being your backup bank account. I'm done being invisible. Don't contact me again unless you're ready to have an honest conversation about how you've treated me for the last 30 years. Ashley. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. The medical billing course was going well. Patricia and I had become genuine friends. One Saturday, as we studied, I told her the full extent of what happened. They said what? She asked, eyes wide. They want me to apologize and return the money. Are they insane? Apparently, I sighed. My mom made it sound like I'd committed some terrible crime. Patricia shook her head. You know what I think? I think they're panicking. They got used to having that cushion of money, and now it's gone. They're trying to guilt you into giving it back. It's working a little, I admit it. I keep thinking about Brooke crying. Brooke's a grown woman. If she's crying, it's because she finally had to face reality. I wanted to believe that. But there was still a part of me that felt guilty. The part that had been trained since childhood to put everyone else first, to smooth things over, to make sure everyone was happy. Everyone except me. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, but familiar area code, Virginia. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello, Ashley. It's Dad. I should have hung up. But something in his voice stopped me. What do you want? I want to talk. Really talk. Not argue, not fight. Just talk. I hesitated. I'm listening. Your mom's email was out of line. I told her that. But Ashley, you have to understand where we're coming from. That money. We had plans for it. Plans that didn't include me. He sighed. It's not that simple. Actually, Dad, it is. You took my money and gave it to Brooke. You let Mom post that comment on Instagram saying Brooke was the only one who made you proud. You forgot my birthday. It really is that simple. We didn't forget your birthday. Your mom was just distracted with getting Brooke to the airport. That's worse, Dad. That's so much worse. You chose to prioritize Brooke over me. Again. Like you always do. Brooke needs more support. She's not as stable as you are. There it was. The excuse I'd heard 1,000 times growing up. Brooke needs more. Brooke's struggling. Brooke deserves special treatment. And me? I was just supposed to be stable. Solid. The one who never needed anything. I'm not doing this anymore, I said quietly. I'm not going to keep setting myself on fire to keep everyone else warm. Ashley, no, Dad. I'm done. I took my money back and I'm using it to better my life. If you can't be happy for me, then we don't have anything else to talk about. I hung up and immediately blocked the number. My hands were shaking, but a strange sense of calm washed over me. Every time I stood up to them, it got a little easier. The guilt was still there, but it was quieter now, easier to ignore. Vanessa pulled me aside at work. You okay? You seem tense. My dad called. Oh no, what happened? I told her everything. His excuse, my refusal, finally feeling like enough was enough. Vanessa listened, then said, You know what I think? I think you're grieving. Grieving? Yeah, you're grieving the family you thought you had, or the family you wanted to have. And that's okay. It's normal. But you can't let that grief pull you back into their dysfunction. She was right. I was grieving. Mourning the relationship I'd never have with my parents, the sisterhood Brooke and I would never share. But more than that, I was grieving the version of myself who'd spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given. That weekend, my phone buzzed with a text from another unknown number. This time, it was Brooke. "Ashley, please talk to me. I got a new phone. I didn't know about the money. I didn't know they were using yours. I'm so sorry. Can we please talk?" I stared at the message. Part of me wanted to respond, but a stronger part knew it wouldn't change anything. I typed back, "Brooke, I need space. I'm not ready to talk yet. Maybe someday, but not now." She responded immediately, "I understand. I'm here when you're ready. I love you." I didn't reply. 3 months into my medical billing course, something unexpected happened. My instructor, Diane, who'd worked in healthcare administration for 20 years, pulled me aside. "Ashley, I wanted to talk to you about your work. You're one of the top students in the program." "Thank you," I said, surprised. "I'm serious. Your attention to detail is exceptional, and you have a real knack for this. Have you thought about what you want to do after you finish?" I was hoping to find a position at a hospital or clinic, something stable. Diane smiled. "I have a friend who works at Virginia Commonwealth University Health System. They're looking for someone to join their billing department. It's a senior position and the pay is excellent. I'd like to recommend you." My heart skipped. "Really? Really? I'll send you the details. You'd have to interview, of course, but I think you'd be perfect for it." I walked out of class feeling lighter than I had in months. This was it. The opportunity I'd been working toward. And I'd done it all on my own. No family support, no approval needed. When I got home, I found an envelope slipped under my door. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting, my mom's. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a birthday card, 3 months late, and a check for $500. The card read, "We're sorry we missed your birthday. We hope this makes up for it. Love, Mom and Dad." $500. A fraction of what I'd given them. And they thought this would fix things. I tore up the check and threw it in the trash. The interview at VCU Health System was for the following Tuesday. I prepped all weekend. Vanessa helped me pick out a professional outfit. The morning of, butterflies were doing acrobatics in my stomach. This was the biggest opportunity I'd had in years. I wasn't going to let their drama ruin it. The interview went better than I could have imagined. The hiring manager, Caroline, was impressed. "We need someone who's organized, detail-oriented, and can handle high-pressure situations," she said. "From what Diane told me, and what I'm seeing here, you fit that description perfectly." "Thank you," I managed to say. "I'm really excited about this. The position comes with full benefits, and the starting salary is $75,000 a year. Does that work for you?" I nearly fell out of my chair. 75,000? Almost double what I was making. "That works perfectly," I said, trying to sound calm. "Great. I'll be in touch by the end of the week with our decision." I walked out feeling like I was floating. My life was actually turning around. When I got back to my car, I had 6 missed calls from my mom and 3 from my dad. I ignored them all. That evening, Vanessa invited me for drinks. "You deserve this," she said, raising her glass. "After everything you've been through, you deserve something good." "I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop," I admitted. "Nothing's going to go wrong. You're talented. You've worked hard. And you're finally putting yourself first. That's not selfish. That's survival." We talked for hours. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy. Not just relieved or vindicated, but truly happy. When I got home that night, there was another email from my mom. Subject, emergency. My stomach dropped. Despite everything, they were still my parents. If something was really wrong, I needed to know. I opened it. "Ashley, we need to talk immediately. Your father lost his job last week, and we're in serious financial trouble. We need that money back. This isn't a request. This is a genuine emergency. We could lose the house. Please call us as soon as you get this. Mom." I read it twice. My happiness from the evening draining away. Dad lost his job. They might lose the house. And somehow this was my responsibility. Except it wasn't. I'd given them $36,000 over 6 years. They'd used it for luxury trips and gifts for Brooke instead of saving for actual emergencies. This was the consequence of their choices, not mine. But the guilt was still crushing. They were my parents. No matter how badly they treated me, did I really want them to lose their home? I called Vanessa. They're saying it's an emergency, I told her. My dad lost his job. They might lose the house. Ashley, listen to me very carefully. This is not your problem. But what if they're telling the truth? What if they really are in trouble? Then they need to figure it out like adults. They can downsize. They can get new jobs. They can ask Brooke for help. You are not their safety net. You gave them $36,000 and they wasted it. If they're in financial trouble now, that's on them. I know you're right. I know that, but no buts. You're about to start an amazing new job. You're building a life for yourself. Don't let them drag you back down. I took a deep breath. You're right. You're absolutely right. After hanging up with Vanessa, I replied to my mom's email. Mom, I'm sorry to hear about Dad's job, but I can't help you financially. I gave you $36,000 over the years, and you chose to spend it on things that weren't emergencies. I have my own life to worry about now. I suggest you talk to Brooke about helping out since she's the one you've always prioritized. Best of luck, Ashley. I hit send and turned off my phone. 3 days later, I got the call from Caroline. I'd gotten the job. I started crying right there in my living room. Happy tears. Relieved tears. Tears for everything I'd been through to get to this moment. I'd done it. I'd actually done it. I called Patricia first. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away. I'm so proud of you, she said. This is just the beginning, Ashley. You're going to do amazing things. Then I called Vanessa, who insisted we celebrate properly. We went to a nice restaurant, and I ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, feeling zero guilt. To new beginnings, Vanessa said, raising her glass. To new beginnings, I echoed. My start date was in 3 weeks. I gave notice at my old job, finished my course with top marks. Everything was finally falling into place. Then Brooke showed up at my apartment. I was coming home from the grocery store when I saw her sitting on my steps. She looked different, thinner, tired. Her usual polished appearance was gone. What are you doing here? I asked, not unkindly. I needed to see you. To apologize in person. Brooke, I told you I need space. I know, but please. Just 5 minutes. I hesitated, then unlocked the door. 5 minutes. We went up. I set the groceries on the counter. Brooke stood awkwardly, looking around like she'd never been there before. She hadn't. I'd never invited her. Ashley, I didn't know, she started. I swear I didn't know they were using your money. When I found out, I confronted them. We had a huge fight. They told me you were being dramatic, that you'd given them the money freely, and now you were trying to hold it over their heads. But I know that's not true. I went through their bank statements. I saw everything. I crossed my arms. So, what do you want? Absolution. No. I want you to know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being oblivious, for taking everything for granted, for not realizing how badly they were treating you. You're my sister, and I should have noticed. Her voice cracked, tears forming. Brooke, you were just being who they taught you to be. I don't blame you for that. But I should have been better. I should have paid attention. I should have stood up for you. I softened a little. Yeah, you should have. I told them I'm not taking any more money from them until they apologize to you. And I meant it. That surprised me. You did. I did. And they're furious with me now too. Apparently, I'm being ungrateful. Despite everything, I felt a small flicker of sympathy. Welcome to my world. I don't know how you dealt with this for so long. I didn't have a choice. Brooke wiped her eyes. I'm moving out of their house. I got my own apartment, and I'm going back to school to finish my degree. I'm not going to be their perfect little princess anymore. Good for you, I said, and I meant it. Do you think we could ever be real sisters? Not just by blood, but actually be there for each other. I thought about it. Maybe someday. But it's going to take time, Brooke. A lot of time. I understand. I'll wait as long as it takes. After she left, I sat on my couch. She was trying. It didn't erase the past, but it was something. My phone buzzed with another email from my mom. I almost didn't open it, but something made me click. Ashley, I don't know what you said to Brooke, but she's refusing to help us. You've turned her against us. You're tearing this family apart. I hope you're happy. Mom. I deleted it without responding. I was happy. And that was what terrified them the most. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. I finished my course at the top of my class, got my certification, and prepped for my new job. Patricia threw me a small celebration. I just want to say thank you, I said, feeling awkward but grateful. 6 months ago, I was in a really dark place. I felt invisible and unappreciated. But this course and all of you helped me remember that I'm worth something. So, thank you. Everyone clapped, and Patricia hugged me. You're going to kill it at that hospital, she whispered. The day before I started my new job, I did something I'd been putting off. I went through all my social media and unfollowed my parents. Not blocked, but I didn't want to see their posts anymore. I was done letting their lives affect mine. As I scrolled, I noticed something odd. My mom had posted a status update 2 days earlier. Sometimes your children disappoint you in ways you never imagined. We raised Ashley to be better than this, but she's chosen selfishness over family. Praying for her to see the light. The post had dozens of comments, mostly supportive of my mom, but a few stood out. My Aunt Linda, my dad's sister, had commented, maybe it's time to look at your own actions instead of blaming Ashley. I've watched you treat that girl like garbage for years. She deserves better. And my cousin Jake, Ashley's been supporting you guys financially for years, and you never even thanked her. Maybe she got tired of being taken for granted. I felt a rush of vindication. Other people had noticed. Other people knew the truth. I screenshotted the post and comments, saving them to a folder. Insurance. My first day at VCU Health System was nerve-wracking but exhilarating. Caroline showed me around. The department was busy, but everyone was genuinely welcoming. You'll do great, Caroline said. If you need anything, just ask. I spent the first week learning, meeting departments. It was a lot, but I loved every minute. This was real. This was mine. And nobody could take it away from me. At the end of my first week, Caroline called me into her office. I wanted to check in and see how you're adjusting. It's been amazing, I said. Thank you again for this opportunity. You've earned it. I've been getting great feedback. You're catching on fast. I'm trying my best. I can tell. And I wanted you to know there's room for growth here. If you continue performing at this level, I could see you moving into a management position within a year or two. Management? Within a year or two. I could barely process it. That would be incredible. Just keep doing what you're doing. I left her office feeling like I was walking on air. That weekend, I finally responded to Brooke's last text. I invited her to lunch at a casual cafe. Nothing fancy, nothing emotionally charged. Just two sisters trying to figure out if they could salvage something. She showed up nervous, clutching her purse. Thanks for agreeing to meet, she said. I figured it was time. We ordered sandwiches, made small talk. Her new apartment, going back to school, my new job. It felt stilted and awkward, but it was a start. I talked to Mom and Dad again, she said eventually. They're still refusing to take responsibility. They think you're being vindictive. Of course they do. I told them I wasn't going to be part of their games anymore. That if they wanted a relationship with me, they needed to grow up and apologize to you. How'd that go? About as well as you'd expect. Mom hung up on me. Dad called me an ungrateful brat. I felt a pang of sympathy. I'm sorry. Don't be. You were right about everything. I was so blind, Ashley. I took everything for granted. And I let them turn me into this spoiled, oblivious person. I don't want to be that anymore. Change takes time. I know. But I'm willing to put in the work. If you'll let me. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw sincerity, remorse. A genuine desire to be better. Okay, I said finally. But we're starting from scratch. No expectations, no pressure. Just two people trying to be sisters. I can live with that. We finished lunch and parted with an awkward but genuine hug. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet. But it was a beginning. That night, my mom tagged me in a Facebook post again. Against my better judgment, I clicked. A long, rambling message about family values, respect, and how children owe their parents everything. At the end, she'd written, "Ashley, if you're reading this, know that your father and I are heartbroken by your actions. We're praying you'll come back to us before it's too late." The comments were a mix of support for my parents and questions about what happened. Relatives asking me directly. I could have ignored it. Probably should have. But something inside me snapped. I commented, "Mom, I gave you $36,000 over 6 years to help with medical bills and expenses. You used it to fund luxury trips and gifts for Brooke while ignoring me completely. You forgot my birthday. Publicly stated that Brooke was the only child who made you proud. And now you're trying to guilt me into giving you more money. I'm done being your ATM. If you want a relationship with me, start by apologizing and taking responsibility for your actions. Ashley." I hit post before I could second-guess myself. Within minutes, the comments poured in. Some relatives shocked, others supportive. Aunt Linda commented, "Finally, someone said it." My mom responded with, "This is a private family matter. How dare you air our business publicly?" I replied, "You made it public when you tagged me. I'm just telling my side of the story." Then I logged off and blocked both my parents on all social media. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in years. I'd finally told the truth. I'd finally stood up for myself in a way that couldn't be ignored or dismissed. And I was done apologizing for it. The Facebook post exploded overnight. By the time I woke up, over 200 comments, countless shares. My phone was flooded with messages from relatives. Some supportive, others demanding explanations. Aunt Linda called me at 7 a.m. "Ashley, honey, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Better than fine, actually. I just saw what you posted." I had no idea it was that bad. Most people didn't. They were good at hiding it. "Well, the truth is out now. Your Uncle Tom and I have been talking, and we want you to know we're on your side. What your parents did was inexcusable." "Thank you. That means a lot. And between you and me, your mother is losing her mind. She's been calling everyone trying to get them to side with her. It's not going well for her." I felt a small surge of satisfaction. Good. After hanging up with Linda, I checked my email. 3 messages from my mom. Each more desperate. The first, angry. The second, manipulative. The third, almost pleading, asking me to delete the post and call her. I deleted all 3 without responding. At work, I threw myself into my new role. The hospital billing department was complex and demanding, but I loved the challenge. During lunch, Vanessa called. "So, I saw your Facebook post. You and everyone else. Are you okay?" That took guts. I'm tired of hiding their dysfunction. If they wanted privacy, they shouldn't have aired their grievances publicly first. Fair point. How are they taking it? Not well, from what I hear. But that's not my problem anymore. Good for you. Seriously, I'm proud of you. That afternoon, another unknown number. "Hello, Ashley. It's your dad." I tensed. "How did you get this number?" "I asked your cousin Jake. Please don't hang up." I said nothing, waiting. "Your mother is beside herself. That Facebook post. You've humiliated us in front of the entire family. You humiliated yourselves." I just told the truth. "We need to meet face to face. We need to resolve this." "There's nothing to resolve, Dad. You and Mom made your choices. I made mine. We're done. Ashley, please. We're your parents." "Then maybe you should have acted like it. I'm asking you one more time. Meet with us this week. We'll buy you dinner. We'll talk things through like adults." I almost laughed. "Like adults, Dad?" Adults don't forget their daughter's birthday. Adults don't steal money from one child to spoil another. Adults take responsibility for their actions. We're willing to admit we made mistakes. That stopped me. "You're willing to admit it?" "Yes. We know we haven't been perfect. We want to make things right." I was quiet for a long moment. Part of me wanted to refuse, to keep the wall up. But another part, the little girl who just wanted her parents to love her, wondered if maybe, just maybe, they were sincere. "Fine. One dinner. But I choose the place. And Brooke comes too." "Why does Brooke need to be there?" "Because she's part of this family too. And she deserves to hear whatever you have to say." He hesitated. "Okay. When? Friday night, 6 p.m. I'll text you the address. I immediately called Brooke. They want to meet, I told her. All of us. Friday night. What did you say? I said yes, but I need you there as backup. Of course, I'll be there. And Brooke, don't tell them what we've talked about. I want to see if they're actually going to be honest, or if this is just another manipulation. Got it. I spent the next few days preparing a list of everything I wanted to say, every grievance I'd buried. I wasn't going to yell or cry. I was going to be calm, clear, and firm. They were going to hear me. Friday came faster than I expected. I chose a quiet restaurant, public enough they couldn't make a scene, but private enough for a serious conversation. I arrived early. Brooke showed up 15 minutes before our parents, looking nervous. You okay? She asked. I will be. At exactly 6 p.m., my parents walked in. My mom looked older, her face tight with stress. My dad had lost weight, shoulders hunched. They sat down. Nobody spoke. Finally, my dad cleared his throat. Thank you for agreeing to meet. Let's just get to it, I said. You wanted to talk, so talk. My mom folded her hands. Ashley, we owe you an apology. I waited. We've been thinking a lot about what you said about the money and how we've treated you. And you're right. We haven't been fair to you. Go on. We've always worried about Brooke more because she struggled with things you seemed to handle easily. You were always so independent, so capable. We thought you didn't need us as much, so we just stopped trying. You didn't stop trying. You just prioritized differently. You forgot my birthday. Mom, you commented on Instagram that Brooke was the only one who made you proud. How was that prioritizing differently? She looked down. That comment was a mistake. I was just excited for your sister. A mistake you left up for everyone to see. My dad jumped in. We're here because we want to fix this. We want our family back. You want your ATM back? I corrected. Let's be honest about what this is really about. That's not fair, my mom said. Isn't it? Dad lost his job. You're in financial trouble. And suddenly you want to reconcile. The timing is pretty convenient. Brooke spoke up for the first time. She's right. You didn't care about fixing things until you needed money. My mom turned to her, shocked. Brooke, you know that's not true. Actually, I don't. Ashley's been telling the truth about everything. I went through the bank statements. I saw where all her money went. And I've been thinking about how differently you treated us growing up. She's not making this up. We gave you both everything we could, my dad insisted. No, I said firmly. You gave Brooke everything. You gave me leftovers and criticism. The table fell silent. Finally, my mom's facade cracked. What do you want from us, Ashley? You want us to grovel, to beg? We're here. We're apologizing. What more do you want? I want you to mean it. We do mean it. Then prove it. Tell me one thing you're proud of me for. One accomplishment you celebrated. One time you put my needs first. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She couldn't think of anything. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. They really couldn't. That's what I thought, I said quietly. My dad leaned forward, voice strained. Ashley, you're being unreasonable. We're trying here. No, you're trying to manipulate me into feeling guilty, so I'll give you more money. There's a difference. That's not what this is about, my mom protested. Then what is it about? Because from where I'm sitting, this looks like a last-ditch effort to get back into my good graces so you can use me again. Brooke squeezed my hand under the table. The gesture gave me strength. Let me make something very clear, I continued. I'm not giving you any more money. Not now. Not ever. I spent 6 years supporting you, and you used me. That's done. My mom's eyes filled with tears. We're going to lose the house, Ashley. Is that what you want? To see your parents homeless. You're not going to be homeless. You have options. You can downsize. You can get jobs. You can ask Brooke for help, since she's apparently the only daughter you care about. I already told them no, Brooke said quietly. I'm not enabling this anymore either. My parents looked at her with matching expressions of betrayal. You too, my dad asked. We raised you better than this. No, you raised me to be selfish and entitled. Ashley's helping me see that. My mom pushed back from the table, her voice rising. This is ridiculous. We've apologized. We've admitted we made mistakes. What more do you want? I want you to understand why what you did was wrong. I want you to acknowledge that you hurt me. Not just say sorry because you think it's what I want to hear. Fine. You want specifics? We're sorry we forgot your birthday. We're sorry we didn't celebrate your achievements. We're sorry we used your money. Is that what you wanted to hear? Say it like you mean it. My mom's face hardened. I've said all I'm going to say. If that's not good enough for you, then I guess we're done here. She stood up, grabbing her purse. My dad looked between us, conflicted. Are you coming? She asked him. He stood slowly. Ashley, I hope you reconsider. Family is important. Family is important, I agreed. That's why I'm not letting you abuse me anymore. They left without another word. Brooke and I sat there in silence for a moment. Well, that went about as well as expected, she finally said. Yeah. Are you okay? I am, actually. I gave them a chance. They blew it. That's on them. We ordered dinner and spent the next hour talking about everything except our parents. Brooke told me about her new apartment, her classes. I told her about work, my future plans. For the first time, we were just two sisters having dinner. No competition, no favoritism, no drama. Just us. When we left, Brooke hugged me tight. Thank you for giving me another chance, she said. Thank you for showing up. Over the next few weeks, things settled into a new normal. I excelled at my job, impressing Caroline. My parents tried reaching out a few more times, emails, voicemails, a letter. Each message the same, surface apology, manipulative undertone, always circling back to their financial problems. I ignored them all. The Facebook drama eventually died down, but not before several relatives reached out privately, telling me they'd suspected something was wrong for years. Aunt Linda became a regular presence, actively supportive. Your mother is furious with me, she told me one Sunday. She thinks I'm turning the family against her. Are you? Nope. She did that all by herself. I'm just refusing to pretend everything is fine. 3 months after the disastrous dinner, Caroline called me into her office again. I have some news, she said, smiling. We're creating a new position, Assistant Director of Medical Billing. I'd like to offer it to you. My jaw dropped. Already? You've proven yourself, Ashley. You're organized, efficient, and the team respects you. The position comes with a significant raise and more responsibilities. What do you say? Yes. Absolutely yes. I left her office in a daze. Assistant Director. 6 months ago, I'd been crying over a birthday cupcake. Now, I was being promoted to leadership. I called Vanessa. Immediately. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. I can't believe it's happening. I can. You've worked incredibly hard. You deserve this. That weekend, Patricia threw me an impromptu celebration. Just her kids, Vanessa, and Brooke. It meant everything. To Ashley, Patricia said, raising her glass. The strongest person I know. Everyone echoed the toast, and tears pricked my eyes. Thank you, I said. All of you, for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. Later that night, my phone rang. It was my dad. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello, Ashley. It's Dad. Please don't hang up. What do you want? I wanted to tell you that I got a new job. It doesn't pay as much as the old one, but it's something. And your mom is working part-time at a retail store. Good for you. We're going to be okay. We're figuring it out. I waited for the ask, for the manipulation. It didn't come. I also wanted to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I want something from you, but because you deserve to hear it. We were wrong. We treated you terribly. And there's no excuse for that. I pulled over, my hands shaking. Your mother isn't ready to admit it yet, but I am. You were right about everything. We took you for granted. We played favorites. We used you. And I'm sorry. Tears streamed down my face. This was what I'd wanted to hear for 30 years. Thank you, I managed to say. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even expect you to want a relationship with me. I just needed you to know that I see what we did, and I'm ashamed of it. We talked for another 20 minutes. He didn't ask for money, didn't try to guilt me. He just talked, and I listened. And for the first time, I felt like my dad actually saw me. When we hung up, I sat in my car for a long time. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a start. The following months brought changes I never could have imagined. My new role as assistant director kept me busy and fulfilled. Brooke and I grew closer, meeting for dinner once a week. She'd enrolled in community college, working toward a business degree. She was also seeing a therapist to work through the family dynamics. My therapist says I was conditioned to see myself as superior, she told me. And recognizing that is the first step to changing. How's that going? It's hard. Really hard. I keep catching myself expecting special treatment, and then I have to remind myself that's not normal. The fact that you're trying means something. My relationship with my dad slowly improved. My mom still hadn't apologized, and I accepted that she probably never would. Some people just aren't capable of that kind of self-reflection. 6 months into my new position, I met a woman named Grace at a conference. She ran a consulting firm. "You have some really interesting ideas," she said. "Have you ever thought about consulting?" I pocketed her card, not thinking much of it. That Christmas, I spent the holiday with Aunt Linda's family. The first Christmas in years where I felt genuinely welcomed. Brooke came too. My parents called on Christmas morning. My dad wished me a Merry Christmas. I could hear my mom in the background, but she didn't get on the phone. "How's your day going?" he asked. "It's good. Really good." "I'm glad. You deserve it." After we hung up, I didn't feel sad or angry. I just felt at peace. The new year brought more opportunities. Caroline approached me about a master's degree in healthcare administration, with the hospital paying for most of it. Vanessa got engaged and asked me to be a bridesmaid. Patricia's daughter decided to pursue nursing, inspired by our stories. My life was full in ways I never thought possible. One Saturday in March, cleaning my apartment, I found the old birthday card my parents had sent, the one with the $500 check I'd torn up. I'd kept the pieces, though I wasn't sure why. I looked at them, then threw them in the trash. I didn't need their money. I didn't need their approval. I had built a life I was proud of, surrounded by people who actually valued me. That evening, Brooke messaged, "Just wanted to say, I'm proud of you for everything." I smiled and typed back, "Proud of you too." A few days later, my mom finally broke her silence. An email, no subject line. "Ashley, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Your father tells me you're doing well, and I'm glad. I'm not good at apologies, and I don't know if I ever will be, but I want you to know that I do see you now. I see what we did, how we hurt you. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying to be better. Maybe one day we can talk." Mom. It wasn't the groveling apology I'd once fantasized about. It wasn't even a particularly good apology. But it was something. I wrote back, "Thank you for saying that. I'm not ready to have a relationship yet, but maybe someday. I hope you and Dad are doing okay." She responded, "We are, and I hope you are too." That was enough for now. As spring turned to summer, my life continued to flourish. The hospital promoted me again, this time to Director of Revenue Operations. My salary had nearly tripled. I started looking at houses. My parents struggled for a while, selling their large house, moving into a smaller condo. They both worked, living within their means for the first time in years. According to Brooke, my mom complained constantly about budgeting, never acknowledging my past contributions. My dad seemed to have genuinely changed. Brooke graduated with honors. I was genuinely proud of her. 1 year after that fateful birthday, I celebrated turning 31 with a party at my new townhouse. Vanessa, Patricia, Brooke, Aunt Linda, colleagues. As everyone sang happy birthday, I looked around at these people who had become my chosen family. I was overwhelmed with gratitude, not for the struggle, but for the strength I'd found within myself to fight back. My parents never regained their former financial stability. But looking back, withdrawing that money wasn't revenge. It was self-preservation. I'd spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given. Trying to prove my worth to people who'd already decided I wasn't enough. Taking back what was mine wasn't about hurting them. It was about finally choosing myself. And in doing so, I discovered something more valuable than any amount of money, the unshakable knowledge that I was enough, that I'd always been enough, and that I didn't need anyone's approval to prove it. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply living well and refusing to let anyone dim your light ever again. What do you think? Have you ever had to choose yourself over the expectations of your family or walk away from a relationship that was doing more harm than good? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below.